Just ahead on Grant Connected News, police continue investigating a South Marion homicide.
The Marion Fire Department turns to the city for renovations.
Businesses react to new business regulations.
And Mayor Siebold reflects on his past 12 years serving Marion. All that and more next on Grant Connected News. Good evening and welcome to Grant Connected News. I'm Ryan Flaherty.
And I'm Brooke Holsizer. The Marion Fire Department works to help keep us in safe living conditions, but now they are needing some help of their own.
The city continues many renovation projects, including the Marion Fire Department. But Zach Allen reports that these changes could be further off than the firefighters hoped.
Ceiling tiles are pulling apart. Baseboards are gone. But this is not an abandoned house in Grant County. This is the Marion Firehouse Station number 1. Assistant Fire Chief Tony Fox says he's never seen anything like this in his time with the Marion Fire Department.
I've been down here almost my whole career down here, and this is the worst that it's been just here recently. And it was all due to that storm.
The storm that happened in November of 2013 knocked down the radio tower behind the station and crashed into the living quarters. The damage done to the station was around $68,000. Tony says that contractors have been through to discuss possible renovations.
After going back in and talking to them about re-renovating that side, the contractors taking a look at it said it'd be cheaper just to tear it down than what it actually would to still be to redo that part of it. So.
The firefighters knew they needed the city's help for the renovation. The new fire station would cost over $750,000. The city council made a decision on November 17th to delay the firehouse project that will now cost taxpayers money. In Marion, Zach Allen, GrantConnected.net.
Police are investigating what they believe is a homicide resulting in the death of 23-year-old Mark Cotton. Officers responded to the call of a body found in the backyard of a house on Nebraska Street. On arrival, they found Cotton's body with 2 apparent gunshot wounds. Cotton was pronounced dead at the scene. Police want the public to know this was not a random act of violence and they should not be worried.
Right, we want people to know that they are not unsafe in their homes, that generally they are, and as long as they aren't involved with people that act in this way, they're going to be fine.
Police say they have potential leads in the case but cannot release any more information at this time. Marion Mayor Wayne Siebold has 6 more weeks left in his term, and while he's on the home stretch, he thinks back on his time in office. Siebold's 12 years started rocky when Thompson Consumer Electronics left Marion, but many businesses came in and improved the economy. This led to one of his favorite moments as mayor, the opening of the Dollar General plant.
And the fact that Dollar General chose us over Danville, Illinois was our first big win, and so that was really exciting.
Siebold says he enjoyed other openings, such as the Matter Park Gardens and Splash House. While he is still deciding what to do after his term ends in January, he wishes the best for the future of Marion.
I hope that Jess Allenball, our new mayor, comes in as a 10 times better mayor than me, right? Because you always want the next mayor, or you should anyway, want the next mayor to do better than you did, because then that means your city's moving forward. And
Ryan, Siebold says that he wants to stay in the area with his family after his term ends.
Which is good because, he spent 12 years building up Marion, so he finally gets to enjoy the fruits of his labor and just spend some well-deserved time with his family.
Absolutely.
Well, when we come back, we'll see highlights from the Indiana Wesleyan men's soccer team.
See what gave them the victory at the Crossroad League semifinals. It's all just ahead.
This week on Crossroads, man's best friend joins the Marion Fire Department.
Step in the kitchen at Poppy's Extreme Donuts.
And IWU students take center stage for an upcoming production. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Shaylee Clark. It's all new this week on Crossroads.
On this week's episode of Wildcat Week, I sit down with men's soccer head coach Luke Sanford and talk about their win against Grace College in the Crossroads League Championship. I'm also joined by volleyball head coach Candace Moats to talk about their tough game in the Crossroads League Finals. Finally, women's basketball head coach Steve Brooks and men's coach Greg Tonigal stop by to give updates on their seasons. I'm Roger Alcock, and that's coming up on Wildcat Week.
Do you have a list of go-to meals that require little effort but offer a big return? Join us this week on Good Hoosier Cookin' and learn how to make one of my go-to meals, chicken fajitas. You'll also see how easy it is to double or triple the recipe and stock your freezer for future chicken fajita love. Watch Good Hoosier Cookin' this week on WIWU-TV.
The station you can trust for quality local programming, WIWU-TV.
Next time you go into a store, the registers might look a little different. Because of a recent law, credit cards are getting a big change.
Paying with a credit card used to be as easy as a swipe. This October, the federal government made it more complex. While these changes don't hurt customers, businesses still have to adjust. Boutique 125 owner Josh Vigor was ahead of the game, and the transfer was flawless.
This pen reader right here has a slot in the bottom, and it doesn't slide the card, but when it says to insert card into pen reader, you put it in the bottom and it takes care of the rest for you.
The new credit cards come with EMV chips, creating a one-time code, limiting the customer information available to hackers. Retailers such as Marissa Grayson are now responsible for any fraud charges against the chip cards swiped the traditional way.
Well, let us take our own risk, our own chances, and don't tell me what to do with my business, but whatever.
I feel like it's more of a moneymaker than it is a card breach, but my response to that is, as technology grows, we have to grow as a vendor.
Some readers aren't working and businesses can't accept the new cards, but they are still responsible.
The company that makes the credit card scanners, so their software won't be ready until maybe next spring.
While consumers have a new card to worry about, businesses have to bear the blame of credit card fraud.
Banks have been slowly rolling out these new credit cards to their customers, so expect to see them shortly. Now for a look at sports, our sports producer David Horner is at the Sports Zone.
Thanks, Ryan. Looking at Indiana Wesleyan sports, the women's volleyball team competed in a tightly contested Crossroads League Championship match against Mount Vernon Nazarene on Saturday. The Wildcats won the opening set 25-19, but Mount Vernon quickly tied the match, winning the second set 25-21. The Wildcats had a chance to go up with a 2-1 lead in the match, but couldn't quite finish out the third set. Going into the fourth set, the Lady Cougars of Mount Vernon had a 2-1 lead and were able to hold off Indiana Wesleyan's 2 set points late in the fourth set. The Cougars were able to pull away with the match and championship with a 3-1 score. Going from the volleyball court out to the soccer fields, the men's soccer team faced Grace College in the Crossroads League Championship. It was a slow start to the game until Evan Young scored for the Wildcats in the 22nd minute of the first half off a free kick from 35 yards out to give the Wildcats a 1-0 lead. Grace then tied the match at a 1-1 in the second half off Indiana Wesleyan's own goal. Seth Kinty tried to stop the ball, but it deflected off his leg right into the net. The game was sealed off in the 85th minute on another Evan Young goal. Samuel Conti crossed the ball to Taylor Lehman, who headed it back to Young, who then headed it into the goal. The game was then secured by a save from keeper Josh Gepper with 58 seconds remaining in the match. As you can see, this save coming up right here, it is a good one. Congratulations goes to the men's soccer team on winning the Crossroads League Championship, with the team will be back in action this Saturday in the opening round of the NAIA National Championships. And ahead this weekend, the 4 Grant County schools will kick off their boys basketball season with preseason scrimmages on Friday and Saturday. This year's preseason is different than in the past because there will not be a county jamboree. This is the first time this has happened in close to 20 years. The Oak Hill basketball team will head to Rochester on Saturday for a controlled scrimmage. Oak Hill coach Kevin Rimbarger said this is a first for him, and he is looking forward to being able to play 4 quarters of basketball.
Out of the scrimmage in terms of finding out where you are with your team, rotations, and the things that you need to work on in terms of film and that kind of thing. It's real nice. We're going to go out and play 4 quarters, and basically that's what it amounts to, being able to play 4 quarters instead of 2 quarters of basketball.
Rimbarger said this will make seeing county teams a little different this year because in past years they have always been able to see other county teams early in the season. Now they won't have that luxury. Rimbarger said he believes this will be a good season of basketball in Grant County, with team returning players and other teams having a lot of good talent.
Thank you, David, for that. Coming up, the law enforcement is breaking the rules.
We'll find out why the police officers are looking a little more scruffy than usual. That and more right after the break.
On this week's episode of Wildcat Week, I sit down with men's soccer head coach Luke Sanford and talk about their win against Grace College in the Crossroads League Championship. I'm also joined by volleyball head coach Candace Moats and talk about their tough game in the Crossroads League Finals. Finally, women's basketball head coach Steve Brooks and men's coach Greg Tonigal stop by to give updates on their seasons. I'm Roger Alcock, and that's coming up on Wildcat Week.
Dogs aren't just a man's best friend, they're a fireman's best friend too.
The effect that arson has on not only the person involved in the incident, but everybody else. You know, arson affects millions of people every year.
See how Brandon Eckstein's best friend, Jersey the Arson Dog, is also his working partner this week on Crossroads.
Why do I get up so early? Why do I brave the elements? Why do I endure the extra mile? Why do I spend so much time in the gym? Why do I push for that one extra rep? Why do I do it? I do it for my brothers. Because if you want to be first, find a way to be third. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. My name is Bob Peters, and I'm fearless to be third.
The station you can trust for quality local programming, WIWU-TV.
Thanksgiving is now 1 week away, and New Pantry in Marion is working with Stanley Steamer to make sure there's enough food to go around. It's been a tough season for the Salvation Army Food Pantry. The food bank has reopened its doors after closing down for a week because of a shortage of donations. Now, the annual Fill a Trailer drive at New Market is receiving more donations than ever. Radio production manager Amanda Rollin is out at the trailer this week assisting with overseeing the donations. She says that the need is great.
Actually, a few people yesterday when I was out here, they said, I go to the food pantry, I can't donate. And that broke my heart.
The food is piling in, and donations have been so generous that a second trailer might be needed.
If you've seen Marion police officers lately, you've probably noticed they are a little out of uniform. More than 34 officers stepped up for the cause by growing their beards out for No Shave November. Rules usually don't allow officers to have facial hair past the lower ear or mustaches past the mouth. Officers can pay $20 or more to grow their beards throughout November and December. First Shift Officer Daryl Jackson says he loves growing his beard out for charity.
One, you don't get to shave every day. That can be a hassle sometimes, you know, when you have daily work like we do. And we get to help out an organization.
This is the second year the police are growing the beards for a cause. So it's great to see the police giving back to the community. You know, they serve already throughout the year, and they just get another opportunity to give out to charity. So
Yeah.
Great opportunity.
It's very cool.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Grant Connected News. Join us again December 3rd at 7 p.m.
And from all of us here, thanks for watching. Have a great night.